up, you guys? Thank you so much for joining me today on the meditation channel. So today is day 4 of our healing series for recovery, for addiction, whatever that may be for you. This can vary anywhere from my type of addiction, which was smoking, to, of course, we're talking about much more severe addictions. This hopefully will help all of you out there, no matter what you're going through. And at the end of the day, I just want to remind you that you're not alone. Trust me, I've worked in rehab. I've seen a lot of people come in and out from all walks of life. And, you know, no one is safe from addiction. Unfortunately, addiction is something that can happen to anyone at any point in their lives. I've seen mothers, I've seen grandmothers, I've seen doctors, I've seen therapists, I've seen quite a few nurses. And of course, you get everyone. All ages, all types. Okay, so today I thought we would talk about resistance. Resistance specifically to change. Now, I just want to point out that this lesson is based on Teal Swan video on resistance to change. This is actually something that I teach in my classes in rehabilitation centers and outpatient centers. And the reason why I teach it, because I just think it's such a powerful concept. You know, we humans are creatures of habits. Habits? Yeah, habits. We humans are creatures of habits. We don't like change, okay? And there are many, many reasons why we don't like change. And I'm gonna go through all of these reasons. But, you know, the problem is that unfortunately, this world is gonna change. Things are always gonna change. And the issue with resistance is that the more that we resist, the more things will persist. In the sense of, if we resist something, what we're ultimately doing is we're creating more friction, more pain, more suffering, more separation. And ultimately, we end up creating more challenges for ourselves. Now, I'm not saying that, of course, you want to go with the flow with everything. There's a reason why we resist certain things. But unfortunately, a lot of the time, when we resist things, they really do have a subconscious reason behind it. And if we don't really understand what that subconscious reason is, sometimes that can actually go against us. Now, in day 3, I talked about how basically we need to become aware of a lot of the subconscious stuff. I mean, awareness is really the key here. The more aware we become, the more we realize why we do what we do, the less likely we're likely to do it. But I talked about more specifically about what do we gain from doing the things that we do. I'll give you an example. Pain. What does somebody gain out of pain? Holding on to suffering. Now, there are actually a lot of benefits to holding on to pain. And I can give you an example for myself. One of the reasons why I held on to pain, this is once I became aware of my issues, once I dug deep, once I started asking the questions and going through the layers. Holding on to pain, excuse me, I got an itchy rib. Holding on to pain for me, especially in relation to my depression, was actually my way of punishing the people in my life. So by holding on to the pain, it was actually my way of saying, see, you did this to me. Now I am going to show you time and time again what you did to me. So now you have to live with this. So in a sense, there was a subconscious layer of revenge. And in a way, it also gave me power because of what happened to me in childhood. Now I could hold this against those people. Another example of pain could be if somebody dies, if somebody passes away. Now, if we let go of the pain, on some level, we feel as though we are betraying them, as if we're not honoring their lives and what they went through. Another example could be if I don't hold on to the pain, I'm more likely to do it again. I'm more likely to make a mistake again. So if I keep punishing myself, I constantly remind myself as to why I cannot do this. So you see how there are so many examples of these things. Now, once again, we don't do these things consciously, but this is how the subconscious mind works. And so when we start understanding and looking at all the perspectives, we start really understanding why we do what we do. And this really can help you in your recovery. Okay, so let's talk about resistance to change. Why would somebody resist change? Now, as I mentioned before, there are many reasons, but let's talk about resistance to begin with. What is resistance? Resistance is opposition. Now, when we're not in resistance, all aspects of us are in alignment. If my thoughts, my actions, and my feelings are not in alignment, this is when I'm more likely to do things that are out of character or are likely that I'm going to cheat myself. I'll give you an example. I think that I want to be sober. I feel like crap, and my action is I'm going to go to the bar. Or another example could be I say to somebody that I love them, but I really don't think that. So these are very simple examples, but you can see how all these three can go against each other. And this is when we're not being in alignment. This is when we're being true to us. One of the things that I want you to become very aware of is how can I get all aspects of me in alignment so that I don't cause any resistance within me, and therefore it makes it easier for me to get to where I want to get. Now, there are also two types of resistance. There's external resistance and then there's internal resistance. So the one that I just talked about was internal resistance, your thoughts, your actions, and your feelings. External resistance is when things happen to you and they stop you from changing. It's an event or a person or whatever that happens on the outside that prevents you from moving forward or from doing the things that you want to do. But here's the key to that. Oftentimes, when things happen on the outside, they're really just a reflection, and we talked about that once again in day 3, a reflection of what's happening on the inside. So if I'm facing resistance on the outside, I am somehow subconsciously creating that on the outside. Now, this is getting a little bit woo-woo, guys, because this has to do with the law of mirroring. I really believe this. I mean, at the end of the day, you're at the meditation channel, and if you're not into this, maybe entertain the idea of it. At the end of the day, being open-minded and trying to look at things from a different perspective, really you have nothing to lose. I'm not saying that what I'm teaching you is the all and all, okay? You have to figure out what works best for you in the end of the day, but you're never gonna know that until you try different things, until you open your mind up to other possibilities and other perspectives. At the end of the day, even if it's real or not, if it works for you, that's the most important thing. Okay, so I want to give you another example as to why we need to deal with resistance when it comes to wanting to bring about change. I want you to think about resistance as, I want you to visualize a boat, okay? You're on this boat and your goal, your sobriety, let's just say it's that way, okay? So we want to go in that direction. And your resistance is an anchor that you drop down, okay? So it's pulling and, obviously it's making it hard for the boat to go forward. So what happens a lot with people is that what we end up doing, as opposed to just doing the obvious thing, which is, oh, I have resistance. What is this resistance? Let me lift those aspects of me that are opposing where I want to go to, so that we can all go together towards the thing that we want to achieve. What we end up doing is we put up more sails, and what ends up happening is that it creates so much back and forth, so much friction, that we end up giving up because it just gets too hard. So I really, really mean this, guys. When we look at the things that we are resisting, whether it's a goal, whether it's your sobriety, whether it's you want to make money, lose weight, or whatever it may be, when we take out that anchor, but we have to become aware to begin with that there is an anchor, because a lot of the time we don't even realize that we have internal resistance. So once we become aware of that resistance, we lift that anchor, and it makes it much, much easier for us to get to where we want to get to. So I hope this is getting clear. And I can give you one more example here. Okay, let's just give an example of wanting to lose weight. Okay, of course people want to lose weight. Thought, right? I want to lose weight. I want to look good. I want to feel good. Okay. Now, what could possibly be the resistance when it comes to losing weight? Now your actions could be I've done diets, I've done this, I've done that, but maybe the emotional aspect of you is not in alignment. So your thoughts are in alignment, your actions are in alignment, but your emotions are not. And I'll give you an example. Weight is a shield. It's a buffer. It's buffering you from the harshness of the outside world. And this is a harsh world. And for some people, it's really harsh. Some people are extra sensitive. If I take off this shield, it's like I've been thrown into a battlefield completely naked. So your subconscious is going, hell no, I don't think so. Are you crazy? This is suicide. So consciously, you have no awareness that this is happening. And so this is where the healing, the meditation, the affirmations, all of this stuff has to take place in order for you to really uncover these subconscious programmings that are embedded in you and that are so deep that you're not even aware of them. Okay, so I'm gonna go through now some of the reasons why we may have resistance. Number one, safety and security. We have built up safety and security with the way that we are. Takes a long time, by the way, for us as humans to adjust in society, in anything really. Life is hard. It can be hard. It depends, especially if you're resistant, it's even harder. But we have built up skills. We have developed confidence in the way that we are doing things, even if those things aren't great. Like I mentioned in day 3, I built up confidence in being depressed. Socially, I knew how to manage myself being weird and depressed. So the minute I wanted to be happy, there was a sense of vulnerability, and it made me feel like I was just starting on a bicycle for the first time and I needed the baby wheels, right? I didn't know how to be in social situations if I wasn't high, if I wasn't depressed. Because I've been doing that for so long, I've gotten really good at that. So the minute you take away your training wheels, whew, that's kind of scary. Okay, so I want you to ask yourself, what are the things that I have built up skills, that I have built up confidence in, that may not necessarily be serving me the way I think that they are? And an example of something like depression and stuff is like keeping people at a distance. When I'm depressed, nobody wants to get that close to somebody who's that depressed, okay? I'm giving off a really bad vibe here. So the reason why I was doing that was to protect myself, because I didn't want to get hurt. Remember, my story was, if I allow people to get close to me, if anything good happens to me like that, it's going to be taken away. So I'm not going to take that risk. I might as well just stay depressed. So I know this feeling, I'm familiar with this feeling, and I'm not going to get any surprises. So really look at yourself and ask yourself, where do I seek safety? Even if it's not something that I would normally look at, but where do I gain confidence from? Number 2, we do not understand why the change is happening. So a lot of the clients that I would get in rehab, for instance, were some of the people that were like, I don't even know how I got here. Okay, so this is an example of an external event happening that is forcing you to change. And a lot of the time what happens in these situations, then this is when we really dig our feet down and we're like, I don't want to change. I'm not okay. I didn't choose. This is happening to me. I'm the victim here, right? And a lot of the time, these kind of scenarios really cause a lot more suffering and a lot more pain, because this is almost out of your control. These are events that are external, so you can't control the external, even though deep down you can when you change the internal. But the point is, this is happening on the outside. I remember when I moved, when I was little, when my parents separated, I had to move country. I moved from Italy to Australia, and it was a huge culture shock. And for, I think, about 2 or 3 years, I just did not accept the fact that I was living there. And I couldn't make any friends. I struggled at school. I mean, it was just a horrible time for me. And now, as an adult looking back, if I just accepted it and if I just adapted and did the best I could with what I had, I would have made it a lot easier for myself. But because I was in resistance to my reality, because I didn't want to accept it, because I was in denial about it, I made it living hell. I made it so terrible, and it was internal, because every day I would wake up wishing to be somebody else too, but wishing to be somewhere else, anywhere but here. You know, I had to learn a new language, I had to learn new culture, I had to get new friends. It was just too much for me at the time. But, you know, I could have once again made it easier for myself if I just tried. In the end of the day, this kind of resistance really is about trying to go back to how things were, trying to hold on to what was, and really not allowing yourself to just move forward. So you see how this type of resistance can actually hold you prisoner, can actually hold you in a really, really dark place if you're not aware of it. Number 3, fear of the unknown. We humans are very, 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 very good at playing the worst case scenario in our head, okay? Now, out of the quantum field, out of the infinite amounts of possibilities that are out there, we tend to be very much stuck on, well, this option and that option, and then that's it. So when change happens, we oftentimes just think of the worst. We just go to the worst possible place. And really, this is a subconscious thing to protect ourselves, to you know, it's like prepare ourselves for the worst just in case, you know. But the truth of the matter is, once again, when you do that, you're limiting your perspective, and also you're limiting your actions. Because if you have so much fear, you're not going to be as brave, you're not going to be as strong, you're not going to be as open. And so you're going to keep yourself very, 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 very restricted. So it's really, really important to try to just be open to the idea that we don't know everything. And yes, that is one of the many possibilities, but what if that and that and that and that and that and that could be also a possibility? In the end of the day, we're just afraid that it could just be worse than what it actually is. So we might as well just stay where we are, because if I go over there, and if I, for instance, let's just once again go into recovery. If I recover, I mean, I'm gonna be miserable every single day. I mean, could you imagine being sober every single day and not being able to just release that tension or those emotions? So that looks horrible over there. So I might as well just stay in my addiction and in the misery that I'm familiar with, because, you know, that looks way more painful than what I'm going through. But once again, this is a projection. You see where I'm going with this? So we create that in our heads without even actually having tried. And I can tell you, by the way, right now, as a sober person, yes, sometimes it is hard, okay? But I don't wake up every day with that heaviness, with the hangover, with my body just not functioning, my mind just not functioning. I mean, it's like day and night. And if I never took the chance, I would never, ever have known what it's like to be over here. I think we're at number 4, having an emotional connection to something or someone. So when change happens, we are afraid that we're gonna lose something or someone. Now, this could be a person, this could be a place, this could be an idea, this could be really anything. Now, of course, in addiction, we're afraid we're gonna lose that security of knowing that that thing is gonna give me that feeling every time, that's gonna give me that relief. And you can go much deeper than that if you like. But the truth of the matter is that once something leaves, something will take its place. And going back to the example before, we're going into the what if scenario. It's like, well, there's not going to be anything that's just going to be as good as this. And once again, we don't know that. So when changes happen, there's resistance because we're afraid we might lose something that means something to us. So ask yourself, if I create change in my life, if I let go of this substance, whatever it may be, what am I afraid I will lose? Little story time. When I quit smoking, I lost all my friends. At the time, of course, it was sad. It was devastating. And why did I lose them? Well, let's be real, guys. If you are using, you cannot hang around people who use and expect yourself not to be tempted to use. 99.99999% of the time, you're gonna use, okay? So you can no longer surround yourself with people who are using the substance that you're trying to get away from. Okay, you need to be in new environments with people who can actually not tempt you. And so I lost all of my friends. Now at the time, of course, it was horrible, but I was so committed to this sobriety thing that I knew that that was one of the biggest issues that I had. All of my friends were stoners. You know, I was a stoner, all my friends were stoners. Which, by the way, love the stoners, okay? They're awesome people. But I had a problem, couldn't be around them. The truth of the matter was that what ended up happening is that over time, I created new friends, I met new people, and I ended up in environments where people didn't need the substance to have a good time. And so I discovered that there were other things that I enjoyed doing apart from smoking and getting high all day. And it turned out to be even better for me. Number 5, we don't see the benefit of doing it. We don't see the benefit, we don't see the reward. So the reason why we don't want to change is because we don't see the immediate benefit. Beautiful example of that is when people work out, okay? I want to lose 20 pounds. I work out for 1 week. I'm committed. I give it everything. And where is my 6-pack, bro? So we give up. When I decided to get sober, as I said, I gave it a 1-year time frame. I had to give it a realistic time frame in order for me to really be able to judge if anything changed in my life, if there was a shift within me and around me, because I really believed it. And I also believe that if other people can do it, I can do it too. So it takes consistency, it takes persistence, and then it takes time. You have to give it a realistic time frame. My thing was, if I'm gonna give it a year, I've done this for 15 years. If it doesn't work out, if nothing's changed within 1 year, well, I know I've got that thing, I can always go back to it, okay? But if everything changes, if my life gets better, I'm never going back to it. There's a reason why I never went back to it, okay? Everything changed. Everything. My entire life evolved. I got healthier, happier, wealthier, more stable. My depression completely gone. I became an entirely different person. I attracted beautiful people in my life, amazing relationships that I can't even describe to you. So, after 1 year of commitment, I never ever looked back. The reward needs to have a realistic time frame. And a lot of the times we give up because we don't see the reward and we're very impatient and we expect it like that. And that's just not realistic. So when you go into this, ask yourself, am I expecting a reward? And if I do, what is a realistic time frame where I can actually see it? And here's the thing, guys, as you're going through it, challenges are gonna happen. You will be tempted. Bad things will happen. Great things will happen. You've gotta stick to your word. Okay, I think we're at number 6, cause and effect. We know that when change happens, there's a cause and effect. I make a change within me, I make a decision, things are gonna have to change around me. This is a really good example that Teal gave, which was, for instance, a woman, I'm just giving you a case scenario like of how cause and effect works. A woman who is a stay-at-home mom doesn't want to leave her marriage where she's unhappy, because if she leaves her marriage, then she has to get a job. And if she has to get a job, then she has to put her kids in day school. And therefore she's afraid that if she puts her kids in day school, she's afraid that the kids will resent her for not spending time with her. So you see how the cause and effect by making decisions. So she'd much rather stay where she's at, not take the risk, and that's that. And you can do that. You guys can stay where you're at. You can. But if you think that changes are not going to happen whether you like it or not, that's delusional. Change is inevitable. You could be in jail, in a jail cell for 20 years. Things are going to change. You're either going to get sick, you're either going to die, or you're either going to get released. Something's going to happen at some point. You might slow down the process of it, but change in this life is inevitable. So you can either embrace it, or once again, like we're talking about, you can create even more friction and resistance and suffering by resisting it. Okay, so I really hope that this helped you guys and that gave you some clarity on why you may have some resistance. And really, the most important thing here is for you to discover what that resistance is for you, specifically, of course, when it comes to your addiction. So now we're going to do a meditation. We're going to go into it and we're going to look into this. Yeah, so let's begin. Sorry about the chair. squeaky. I'm just going to get myself comfortable. Okay, guys, so close your eyes, get yourself in a comfortable position, lying down, sitting, whatever it may be for you, and let's begin. Let's begin this meditation today by checking in with yourself, building a little self-awareness, and asking yourself, how do I feel today? Mentally, how do I feel? Emotionally, how do I feel? Physically, is there any tension, any injuries? And maybe even ask yourself, are you resisting this meditation? And if so, why? And can you give yourself permission to just surrender to it? To surrender to judgment, to surrender to fear, to surrender to resistance. And just let go for a moment. Just not have to fight anything anymore. Just allow and accept and trust for one moment. Just giving yourself a break from everything. I want you now to visualize a beautiful white light shine above your head. This beautiful beam of light swirling around you. And in the middle of this light, this beautiful, soft blue fog begins to shine down and surround you. This frequency is incredibly soothing, calming, relaxing, and the white light is clearing any negativity, any toxicity, anything that may be holding you in pain and suffering and fear, and it's just opening up the channels so that you can feel clarity, that you can see clarity. And when you breathe in, I want you to breathe in this blue smoke. Feeling this energy entering your body, moving around your lungs and creating a cooling effect, a soothing effect. And on the out breath, I want you to visualize releasing anything that is unwanted, any tension, any negativity, any toxicity that your body may be holding on to at this time. And if you like, you can deepen your breath. Just seeing that black cloud leaving. And the more you breathe in this blue light, the more peaceful, the more relaxed you feel. And inviting this blue light into your heart, just soothing your heart, calming down your heart, just breaking down those walls for a moment and creating complete relaxation and safety within you. And as you continue to breathe, this blue smoke moves through your spine, entering your nervous system, soothing your nervous system, taking you out of fight or flight mode and keeping you in a state of creativity and relaxation. And moving up into your mind, soothing your thoughts, releasing any negative thoughts, any resistant thoughts, any thoughts that are toxic or heavy. And once again, just remember to breathe out all of this unwanted energies, thoughts, frequencies, whatever it may be. Just let it out. Literally detoxing every part of you energetically, emotionally, mentally, and physically. Clearing and cleansing the body, detoxing the body right now, just giving yourself permission to feel peace, to feel okay, and to feel safe above everything else. And now bringing up your addiction, bringing up the substance maybe even that you are addicted to. And just asking yourself the question, how is this substance serving me? What do I gain by coming back to this substance? What is it that it gives me that I need so badly? Trust the information that you receive. Allow yourself to receive the information. And now I want you to really go deep here. If you could see this substance in front of you as an energy, and I want you to visualize a cord from that substance attached to a part of your body. Now, this is going to be different for each one of you. It could be your heart, it could be your stomach, it could be your groin, it could be your mind. But it's connected to a part of your body that is related to emotions, to a need. And now I want you to ask yourself, what aspects of me are in resistance to letting go of this substance? What are my fears? What are my insecurities? What am I afraid of? What aspects of me are in resistance to this substance, to letting go of it? The information doesn't have to be very obvious. Sometimes it'll be a color, a feeling. It'll be something abstract, but that's fine. Just receive it. Trust yourself. And finally, ask yourself, am I ready to commit to something new and trust the process by releasing this attachment? Am I really ready for it? Am I willing to commit to show up for myself and not to abandon myself? And if you are, we're going to invite the white light to help us release this attachment. You have to give it permission though. And visualizing a white cord wrapping itself around this attachment, this energetic cord that you have to the substance. And now declare, I invite my guides, my higher self and myself to release this pattern, to release this connection. I give myself permission to be free. I let go of my past so that I can make way for my future. I give myself permission to heal and to release any attachments and resistance that are in connection to this substance now. And then just see that white cord getting brighter and brighter until it breaks away. And just see that substance float away, floating far, far away, until it disappears. And bringing your attention back to yourself and putting your hands on your heart. I am okay. I am safe. I am ready. I am powerful. I am capable, and I am strong. Today is the day that change will happen. Today is the day that I embrace change fearlessly, powerfully, unapologetically. Today is the day that I declare my freedom. And so it is. Just taking it all in. And it's time now to slowly come back. So thanking those lights, the blue and the blue smoke and the white light, thanking their healing, their support, as they gently dissolve. And slowly, slowly coming back to your body. Wiggle your toes and fingers. Take your time. And when it feels right, you can open your eyes. All right, guys. I hope that was helpful. I hope today you got some more wisdom, some more information, some more insights. As always, leave a comment below. Let me know if you discovered anything that you were not aware of. And of course, let me know if this is helping. Yeah. All right. Well, I hope you have an amazing day and that wonderful, wonderful things happen to you today. See you soon.